So what is Toltec? That's what I want to get to right now. And the core of what is a Toltec is a spiritual core. And the heart of what comprises the Toltec way is the same core as all paths of high wisdom. And these paths possess an awareness of energy, polarity, and movement, an awareness of the elements, of other realities or dimension, a very heavy emphasis on the breath and working with the breath, and a very strong understanding or ideas about the ultimate state or a soul. You don't hear much about these points here in most Toltec writers. They talk about stalking and recapitulation, but I'm telling you, if you look at the culture and you look closely, you're going to see these characteristics brought out. To continue, finish the list, a Toltec or a high culture is going to have an understanding of the powers and attributes of plants and animals. These folks were not just selling things or, making tortillas. They were out there studying plants. There were universities, different schools, different kinds of training, and they were all into what the plants did. They were healers, and they were into working with animal energy and all that. A very central thing that goes along with an understanding of an ultimate state or a soul that we talked about in the previous slide is the idea of transformation. A baby grows into a boy or a girl, grows into a man or a woman, goes through these phases of life. They go through a transformation in their body. Likewise, the soul or consciousness should go through a transformation. And this idea of transformation is very common in ancient Egypt in different civilizations. And if you don't really talk about how to obtain transformation, then you're not a high culture. You're not a Toltec system or a Toltec philosophy if transformation, and especially through movement, is not part of what you're doing. Also, in the Toltecs, you see a very high importance of the sun, of the earth, and the center. And the center is often depicted as being the heart, because the heart is the center of a human being. Also very important are working with cycles, and cycles especially of life and of time. Also, any high civilization, any real civilization on the planet is going to work a lot with building in stone. And they're going to work a lot with gold. And they're going to communicate a lot of information symbolically through pictures and pictograms. All right, so I'm just going to give you a visual transmission here of a lot of these major concepts. And I want you to keep in mind that this is the Toltec way. If you're looking for a Toltec teacher or a Toltec book, they say they're Toltec. If they don't talk about these things, they're not very Toltec. So the first up is energy, polarity, and movement. A Toltec or a high civilization is going to be all into energy, polarity, and movement. On the left here from the Codex Nuttall, which is a pre-Columbian codex, the depiction of the tiger and the eagle. This is not some kind of a theater. This is not some kind of dance. This is not a battle. This is a depiction of two forces in the universe that work together. And you see the same kind of thing on the right-hand side with, and this is from Asia now, dragon and tiger. These guys are not fighting. These guys are not just dancing. They're in a communication. They are interacting together, and they're really, by their display, achieving a harmony or a balance. And that's really what energy, polarity, and movement is to work with energy in order to achieve a balance. So in Asian systems, this is called yin and yang, or yin and yang. And the Tai Chi symbol is there. Also, this was very much used, if you just get in real deep to the Egyptian hieroglyphs and stuff, they were all about energy. And the Ankh symbol here at the bottom of the picture was the blending of the yin or in open energy on the top of the Ankh with the yang or the projective energy in the bottom. Any true Toltec path is going to understand the elements. And that's really the natural progression once you understand a polarity or perceived polarity in the universe, you're going to want to break that down into a little bit more detail, and you're going to come up with the elements. So on the left-hand side, to the Aztecs, the Nahuatl, Toltec people, fire and water are the representations of the elements. The ability to work with and combine fire and water. On the right-hand side from the Codex Borgia is the depiction of the powers of the wind and what the wind does, what its abilities and properties are. And at the bottom, all of traditional Chinese medicine is based on these 5 elements. And the understanding and interaction of the 5 elements is what produces acupuncture and working with herbs, moxa, even Tai Chi. All of these things have to do with merging the elements, merging yin and yang, and then working with fire and water, etc. Another very prominent Toltec feature, or feature, again, when I say Toltec, I also mean a high culture. And because we don't have a high culture on this planet, I mean an ancient culture and hopefully a future culture. They have aspects of understanding other realities and other dimensions. And these are not things that have to be proven, quote, scientifically or mathematically. These are just things they perceive by going about their path of spiritual development. So on the left here, I believe both these images are from Teotihuacan. We have the rain goddess. So the rain goddess holding these flowers and these big water droplets just, coursing out of her hands to the earth. This is an interesting picture because there is no face on it. Very mysterious, trying to perceive the divinity. You can get so close and only determine so much. On the right-hand side, the crater goddess. So here the crater goddess has got all this regalia going on, this eagle headdress and all this stuff. And again, the face. You can see parts of the face, but parts are covered up. So this idea that there are other dimensions or other realities is a part of a advanced civilization, is a part of the Toltec way. And on the lower left, I just included a picture here of Anubis, an example of one of the creator or divinities that are prominent in Egyptian thought. So the Toltecs have very clearly transmitted to us, and all high civilizations, like the ancient Indian civilization, and I believe also the Andean civilizations, and clearly other spiritual paths of the Sufis down through the Egyptians, all this, pranayama, a focus on the breath. And many of the archaeologists who translate this stuff, they look at this as the wind. So wind and breath are very closely, they're parallels. So Ehecatl, the god of the wind, this is an aspect of Quetzalcoatl. And something that's very interesting about this is that Quetzalcoatl's breath moves the sun. So right side, Xochipilli, the god of flowers, he's depicted or understood to be in meditation. And typically when you take somebody and begin to train them in breath work, you train them in pranayama, as the picture on the left here, alternate nostril breathing, different forms of holding the breath, releasing the breath. And as part of that training, also there's periods of meditation that go with that. So in the Toltec culture, if somebody's telling you about Toltec and they don't emphasize working with the breath, they don't have a complete transmission or a complete picture of what that culture or what that high spiritual, high civilization viewpoint is all about.